Protect your DNA. BioPQQ can promote formation of new mitochondria. Infowarsstore.com.
Well, if you're like me, you woke up this morning to some of Donald Trump's tweets calling for people who burn the flag to be thrown in jail or have their citizenship revoked. Now, this sent red flags up the pole for me. Like, Donald Trump, what are you talking about? Citizenship revoked, that's beyond the pale. That is insane. And of course, that's all the networks have been talking about all day. But did Donald Trump actually troll everyone once again? Because, of course, Hillary Clinton was one of the sponsors of this U.S. flag burning bill back in 2005. So this is the Flag Protection Act of 2005. She co-sponsored this bill, saying people who burn the flag either get a year in jail or a $100,000 fine. And once people started tweeting at the media that, hey, you know, Hillary Clinton actually thought the same type of consequences should face those burning a flag, then of course they sort of fell silent about that. Trump was also late night trolling CNN, saying the network did a terrible job during the campaign. They were totally in the can for Hillary Clinton and they'll never learn their lesson. Case in point, they're still attacking Alex Jones.
Donald Trump and Alex Jones, the conservative conspiracy theorist and operator of the website Infowars.
He's not dealing in fact or evidence that anyone has been provided.
To say that there's no evidence of any voter fraud in the United States of America.
Widespread voter fraud, widespread serious voter fraud, millions of people voting illegally.
This is a candidate who has lied more in presidential candidate history than any other candidate we have ever seen.
But again, is Donald Trump really just trolling all of us? I mean, we're looking at some of his potential picks to fill out key positions within his administration. Today, he met with Goldman Sachs President Gary Cohn. So this is someone who he's considering for a key position. And, you know, of course, he ran his campaign decrying the influence of big banks and international financial institutions. He has leaned heavily on Wall Street executives, though, as he's preparing to take office. Now, Cohn is a registered Democrat. He's been a prolific political donor, contributing more than $275,000 to Democrats, including Obama and Hillary Clinton. So, you know, he actually donated to Marco Rubio's campaign for the Republican presidential nomination, but nothing for Trump. So very interesting there. Of course, we've now seen him talking about General David Petraeus. After meeting with him, he said he was very impressed. Well, someone who's not impressed, of course, myself, David Knight. Senator Rand Paul has joined the chorus of concerned Americans, saying hiring Petraeus would be like hiring Hillary Clinton. He says it would be highly hypocritical for Trump to appoint someone to his administration who mishandled classified information after he advocated criminally charging Hillary Clinton for the exact same reason. And of course, a lot of people pointed that out, where Petraeus was in trouble for doing the exact same thing, whereas they were trying to get Hillary Clinton off, saying, you know, nothing to see here. What Rand Paul stressed is that he wants somebody who understands the Iraq War was a mistake, the nation building has been a mistake, and that regime change has been a mistake. These are things that Donald Trump expressed during, you know, the campaigning, and he says he completely agrees with it. He wants to hold Donald Trump to that. That's why he supported him. And of course, let's not forget, Petraeus was also very big on gun control regulations. So here we have some high-level CIA head, former military there, and saying that only the standing army, the standing military, not the U.S. citizens here, kind of rewriting the whole Second Amendment. So that's very troubling in that. And of course, here troubling, a lot of people are happy with his pick for the Health and Human Services. This is Georgia Rep. Tom Price. They say he is going to put the target day one. He's going to knock out Obamacare. That's going to be his job day one. This is sending a strong signal that Trump is going to uphold his pledge to repeal and replace Obamacare. A lot of pro-life people are very happy with this choice as well. Price is an orthopedic surgeon, and he did more than vote dozens of times with his colleagues to repeal the Affordable Care Act. He also put forth a detailed blueprint of what would come next, a healthcare system that relies more on market forces than government mandates. And of course, this is something that Donald Trump has said as well that would actually help fix Obamacare. But a big red flag here with Price is that he also put forth legislation mandating for mandatory vaccinations, mandatory quarantine, and mandatory gun control in emergency situations. So that is very troubling there. But again, here with this repealing Obamacare and certain things, it's almost like they're going to work at repealing the globalist agenda initiatives first and then work on the other stuff later. So I say here we should probably give Donald Trump a chance to do what he said he's going to do. But of course, we all need to speak very vocally, very loudly when we see some trouble there on the horizon, because, you know, now that he's in the swamp, he's going to have the goblins biting at his ankles. Kind of some more evidence of this pushing back against the global corporate monopoly that we're seeing. He added an antitrust expert to the Justice Department's transition team, so the incoming administration could be less friendly to mega mergers. This is Republican antitrust veteran David Higbee. He's a partner at the law firm Hunton and Williams LLP. He worked for George W. Bush's administration, but lawyers are saying that this signals a more hands-off approach to antitrust enforcement compared to what Obama was used to. So, you know, you can't control corporations with government regulations, or you can't control the monopoly, because companies like Amazon or Google, Jeff Bezos, whatever, they use the government to get even bigger. So the way that you're able to break up these monopolies is by allowing for competition, not by trying to get the government in there to regulate everything, as we see that has totally failed in the past. So, you know, that's a good sign. But just when you thought it was safe to forget about Hillary Clinton, you know, it's been 3 weeks, everyone's thinking, let's just move on. It's time to, you know, let Trump do his job. Well, now people are saying that Hillary Clinton could be planning yet another run for president in 2020. I don't believe it. I don't think she's going to make it. But this is according to the National Journal columnist Ron Fournier. He says Hillary's involvement in Jill Stein's widely derided recount is all part of the agenda. It's just part of her plans to keep her options open for 2020, as well as the strategy of the endless series of random viral selfies of Clinton out with voters. She just wants to portray herself as a regular person, attempting to eschew the reality that she's completely out of touch. I don't think so. She's damaged goods. She's going to be too old. And it's interesting because they're already pushing Michelle Obama for 2020. So it'll be interesting if she did, let's just say she did roll out of the crypt and try to run in 2020. It'd be interesting to see those two going at it like they did in 2008. Of course, going back to Jill Stein, even Democrats now are just blasting her efforts, this recount effort. They're saying it's a total scam. And indeed it is. She's raised a lot of money, but that money isn't even guaranteed to go to the recount. It's going to be going to prop up the Green Party. So it's totally scam. The Obama administration's come out saying that the election results accurately reflect the will of the American people. Clinton's campaign attorney has actually said they haven't uncovered any actionable evidence of hacking or outside attempts to alter the voting technology. So this is what we said. There's no proof. Why is she doing this? It's a total failed operation. But now she's raised even more than the $2 million necessary, $6 million plus at this point. And guess what? It's going to go to help the Green Party in the future. And here's a little bit of a hypocrisy, which I think is like a criteria of the alt-left. Hillary's lawyer, who just 2 days ago confirmed that he would be participating in Jill Stein's recounts in Wisconsin, Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Mark Elias is now publicly calling on North Carolina Republican gubernatorial candidate Pat McCrory to halt his recount efforts because he has an insurmountable 9,000 vote margin, which of course is less than half of what he's, you know, saying could be that gap that could really clinch the deal to show that there was some vote fraud going on there with Hillary and Trump. I mean, total hypocrisy. Just move aside. Something that was really kind of outraging people, of course, yesterday we saw another attack there at Ohio State University, and immediately people were coming out saying, oh, that poor little jihadist, that poor guy, everyone, let's just feel sorry for him. Well, here's this independent filmmaker, Tariq Nasheed, a self-described anti-racism strategist. Well, he comes out saying, it's very interesting that they're using the term hero to describe the white police officer who shot and killed a black suspect. Racist. Totally crazy. This guy blocked me on Twitter because I told him that the Grinch wants his eyebrows back because all he does is use racist rhetoric to get his point across. He's a total joke. John Kasich actually received his own tidal wave of Twitter hate for ushering out his condolences for those that were hurt in this attack yesterday. And people are blaming him, saying, you're the one that opened the floodgate, opened Ohio's borders to allow in all the international refugees. So people are saying that's totally your fault. And here, Trump was right about Somali migrants. Now, this was just 3 weeks ago. Trump actually cautioned that Somali migrants in states such as Minnesota were refusing to integrate and that a portion of them posed a terror threat. And of course, people were just all in an uproar about that. But under President Obama, 43,000 Somali refugees have been settled in the U.S. with no adequate way to check their backgrounds as they enter the country. And indeed, the Republican-led Congress is going to be overseeing a large-scale importation of Somali migrants. Since 2001, the U.S. has permanently resettled nearly 100,000 migrants from Somalia. This is a nation where female genital mutilation for women and girls is about 98%. Homosexuality can be punishable by death. And in a single year, Congress is funding visas for nearly 300,000 Muslim immigrants from Somalia. So this is more than double the size of the entire population of Dayton, Ohio.
18-year-old Somali refugee Abdul Razak Ali Artan, who obtained a green card to enter the United States in 2014, injured 11 students on the Ohio State University campus yesterday, first striking them with a car and then exiting the car to attack the students with a butcher knife. WorldNet Daily reports Campus Police Chief Craig Stone said, "Our officer was on the scene in less than a minute, and he ended the situation in less than a minute. He engaged the suspect, and he eliminated the threat. The suspect is DOA." Artan had been quoted in the campus newspaper, The Lantern, several months ago, complaining about the school's lack of Islamic prayer rooms. He blamed the negative view Americans have of Muslims on Islamophobia planted in their minds by the U.S. media, not by the numerous terror attacks or sexual assaults. And the delusional blame game continues to mushroom. Tariq Nasheed, an extreme left documentary filmmaker, bemoaned, "So white officer Alan Haruko, who shot and killed the black Somali stabbing suspect in Ohio, is being paraded as a hero? That's interesting." Anti-Second Amendment Senator Tim Kaine tweeted, "Deeply saddened by the senseless act of gun violence at Ohio State this morning, praying for the injured and the entire Buckeye community." Of course, no gun was used. Paul Joseph Watson pointed out that a woman named Kay tweeted, "Poor kid goes through hell as a child in Somalia, comes to America, probably been bullied by racists in white Ohio. Now he's dead. Thanks, Trump." And even the New World Order chimed in as Anna de Rothschild tweeted, "Thoughts and prayers are with the victims in Ohio. America must wake up and abolish your Second Amendment. It is 100% the problem. Trump is blind." Meanwhile, back here in reality that exists 24/7 outside of the Twitter universe, people in Columbus, Ohio now have more reason to be looking over their shoulder. As recent as February of 2016, Mohammed Berry, a Muslim immigrant from Guinea, charged into the Nazareth restaurant and deli in Columbus, Ohio, and attacked the patrons with a machete in what was described as a bloodbath. Berry was shot dead. CNSNews.com reports 98,799 Somali refugees have settled in the United States since 9/11. More than 99% of those refugees are Muslim, reflecting the religious makeup of Somalia's population, which is almost entirely Muslim, predominantly Sunni. The largest number of Somali refugees arriving in the country since 9/11 have been settled in Minnesota, almost 16,000, Ohio, more than 7,500, and sizable communities also in Texas, New York, and Arizona. America chose Trump for a reason. Paul Joseph Watson writes, "Just 3 weeks ago, Trump cautioned that Somali migrants in states such as Minnesota were refusing to integrate and that a portion of them posed a terror threat. Some of them are joining ISIS and spreading their extremist views all over our country and all over the world. said Trump. Of course, no one wants to call it a terror attack, but Barry and Artan were just following orders from terrorists. Business Insider reports Michael Smith, the founder of security from Kronos Advisory, who has advised Congress on terror-related issues, pointed out on Twitter that an ISIS video released days before the OSU attack showed a French ISIS member demonstrating how to kill people using knives. The ISIS member also called for attacks in the West, and in the past 2 months, English-language ISIS propaganda magazines have called for vehicle and knife attacks. Sorry, Anna de Rothschild and Senator Tim Kaine. Thanks to people like you and your globalist policies, this is precisely why Americans need their Second Amendment rights. John Bound for Infowars.com.
In case you haven't heard, Infowars has become the most influential media outlet in America. We're making freedom go viral. And now we are proud to announce a new weapon in the epic battle against the globalists. Infowars Prime, where you can watch live high-definition feeds of The Alex Jones Show, plus exclusive insider videos from the Infowars crew and behind-the-scenes action. Go to Infowars.com/app and download today. Infowars Prime is available right now for your iPhone or Android. You will have access to exclusive videos that you can't see anywhere else. And that means live coverage of events and breaking news on location as it happens. You can also take advantage of amazing deals from the Infowars store that are only available for Infowars Prime subscribers. That's Infowars Prime at Infowars.com/app. And if you can hear my voice, you are the resistance.